Today we're going to look at functionality associated with the Quality Payment Program application for users associated with an alternative payment model. First thing we want to do is navigate to the QPP website, which is qpp.cms.gov. Once we get to the website, we are going to go to the Sign In. To sign into the application, you will need to have your EIDM credentials. For users that do not have EIDM credentials, you can navigate to the CMS Enterprise portal to register. I'll need to have my user ID as well as my EIDM password. The next item that we'll need to do prior to logging into the system is to attest to the statement of truth that everything that I am entering is accurate and complete. After I click Yes, I agree, I'm going to go to Sign In. This will take us to the multi-factor authentication code page, where I will receive a message with my information depending on how I registered. This will either come in a phone call or via a text message. Once I enter in the information, I'm going to hit Submit Code. This will take us to the home page for the Quality Payment Program. On the home page, we can then navigate into the performance feedback. We can either click on performance feedback on the sidebar or click on the view performance feedback in the middle of the page. For this specific user, we have both an alternative payment model entity as well as a shared savings program participant TIN. We're going to navigate into the performance feedback for the APM entity. Once we navigate in, you can see that we have available options at the top of the screen where we can either download our submission data or print our submission data. If we would like to print, we can go to Print and then Print Entire Feedback. This will take us into a page where we can navigate in all of the categories within the performance feedback that we would see on the page. We can see the first item is the final score at a glance, where we'll be able to see our quality, advancing care, as well as improvement activities information. It's also transcribed into the donut chart to the left, demonstrating how each one of these categories makes up the final score. Users will also be able to see the payment adjustment details, the exceptional performance adjustment, and also the total MIPS payment adjustments. The payment adjustment date is January 1st, 2019. For this user, we'll be able to navigate in to view our CMS web interface submission. Advancing care is aggregated among all APM participants and no additional information is available, aside from the score, which is listed at the top. For APM participants, they receive 100% auto credit for the improvement activities category. This is listed here. If there are questions around what improvement activities apply to which APMs, you can click on the Learn More button, which will take us to a page that shows all of the improvement activities associated with all of the APMs. The last item on the page is the cost category, which alternative payment models are not subject to scoring based on cost, and no information will be displayed. The APM entity user has the ability to view their CMS web interface submission. On the screen, we can see the category details, also the performance details associated with each one of the measures. The performance points have the information around your numerator, denominator, reporting rate, and also your total population. Each one of the measures that are associated with this score will be listed here. For any measures that were not successfully submitted during the submission period, they will be listed here. This would incorporate the 248 consecutively completed patients, or if any other details were missing related to that measure. For APM SSP participant TINs, the information they will see will be very similar to the APM entity, except for they will not be able to view the quality details. You do have an available option to download your payment adjustment CSV, which will show all of the NPIs underneath of your group that are receiving the APM entity score. So once downloaded, we can see here the APM entity that's associated with it, your TIN information, which only has the last 4 digits, and then we'll have each NPI receiving that score, as well as the final score, payment adjustment, quality contribution, ACI contribution, and IA contribution. If we click View Details, we can see that the top of the screen gives us the same options that we had for the APM entity. The main difference that we will notice is that we have practice details as well as APM entity details. The final score at a glance, once again, shows the details listed out by category, as well as the donut chart that shows how the score is represented. We have payment adjustment, exceptional performance adjustment, and then your total MIPS payment adjustment. For each one of the categories, we can see that the information associated is not able to be clicked into, and there's just high-level information. The quality measures were submitted by your APM. Please contact the APM entity to view what was submitted. ACI, once again, is aggregated among all participants within the APM and is weighted to produce the final score. Improvement activities, all APM participants receive full credit for this category, and cost is not applicable to APM participants.